In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome. Oh, sorry, I missed it. I missed the cue. Sorry.
Oh no, dreadful.
Can you try again?
Guys,
I've got no inbuilt sense of
Start
rhythm.
from
paying-
five.
we're paying
Start from
voiceover
five,
guy
just got it.
by the word now because of the
by
vag
the word.
stipulations. So because of
Can
the
we just do it-
stipulated vag.
Can we
Don't
just do a two number countdown then, please?
Yeah, which numbers would you like?
7.
Can we go from 7 to 6 and then in?
Okay,
I was going to say 7 and 43, but we can.
that's 3 numbers.
True.
Yeah, that's-
I mean, 43.
that's-
Does that count as one number or two?
I'm going to ask him, voiceover man. Yes. Does 43
Why did
class as
voiceover
one?
man get really old? Did we get an older voiceover guy?
No, that's what it sounds like away from the microphone. If you take the reverb and the microphone away from him, it sounds like this.
I mean, we have been working with him for quite some time, so maybe
I don't think we've worked with him for
fallen
that
foul
long.
of the sands of time.
Because surely
Right.
we would fall foul of those same sands. I don't know.
The sound. I don't
just
know what he's on
lost.
about the sounds. Okay, so
Sam was talking about
what numbers do you
sands.
want? It said it would do 43. So do you want them 2 numbers?
Yes, 7 and 43, and then
Okay.
in.
Did you get that voiceover? Yeah, cool. Okay, it's coming over. 7.
Hello and welcome. I fucked it again. Sorry. Are we gonna have to pay for those numbers, even though I just completely
Now,
fucked
surely
Yeah,
we get
it's-
like 3 do-overs, right?
No,
Yeah, that's
it's
very true.
It's paid per word,
And do-overs.
and the numbers are classing as words. It don't matter if it's do-over. It's the
No,
words that he
surely-
says.
Nah,
This
we
is
get
because
some
Vag
do-overs.
Vag
You
of
can't be letting
Finders,
Vag twist our arms like this. They've got
Vag
us
of
by the
Finders.
balls.
and this is the fine. This is part of the prosecution that they've put in place that they have to charge by the word because
I suppose the natural question here, though, is how much are we being charged per word? Because if it's
that's
a
a really
penny,
good. They never stipulated that.
yeah. Can
We've
you
got
ask?
some room. Yeah. How much is it? Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't deal with the finances. He says, "Who do you think I am?" The finance voiceover guy.
What kind of transaction is this then? If we're getting
We're
something
paying
and we don't
Vag.
even know how much it costs.
Why are we
I
paying
don't know.
Vag? We don't want
I'm not
Vag to do
calling
anything
Vag.
for us.
No,
not
we're not
calling
calling.
Vag.
We're not. Right. He said he's going to give you 2 more numbers. Don't start talking until he's finished
No,
the second
no.
number.
I'm not getting involved in this if we don't know how much it costs. It could
How
be
much is it?
£30,000 per word.
The
That's
issue
just
is,
silly.
if he gives me the answer, we're gonna get charged for him answering how much each word is.
No, he's not charging you to talk to him. Surely it's just his recorded words that we
Yeah,
get
but he's gonna
charged for.
say it into the microphone, which is
Well,
part
he
of the
doesn't have
contract.
to ask him
He
to
does.
say it into the corner of the room if you
Can you say it into
must.
the corner of the room? He says, "Great loophole, Sam. Well done." In
But
fact,
how
he's
much
that
is it gonna
impressed.
cost?
Is that impressed? He's going to do a full voiceover intro for free.
All right,
Totally
let's go.
free.
I like those. I like those odds and that price and those numbers that you're giving
That's
to me there.
that's a good. Say it into the corner. No. Say the intro into the microphone. Obviously, not into the corner. You fucking. No. Okay. Right, he's coming over. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week again. It's Killer Rabbit Podcast with your host, Sam.
Hello, welcome to Killer Rabbit Podcast. Come in, welcome in. We love having you here. Step into the warm embrace of the rabbit. Seat yourself down and prepare for an hour of absolute fucking nonsense. I am your host, Sam, and I am, of course, goes without saying, I'm joined by Mr. Adam Chase, everybody. Yeah.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello. How are we?
How are we?
How,
Is that a royal we, or is that aimed at just me, or is this the pre-Benson how are we, or shall I introduce him first and then we'll go back to your question?
I think you're overthinking it, really.
Yeah, probably am. We're also joined by Benson. Yay!
Hello, how are we?
How are we? Oh, that works because we're all here. I'm all right. I'm
Oh,
all
see,
right.
Benson
I'm
says
very
it's all
cold.
okay, but I say it and it's some sort of drama.
Well, I was
Well,
going to
there
answer yours as
Drama,
well.
How are we going to do it? How are we going to do
There-
it?
there was only you at that
Possibly
point.
we. And you.
Benson's not. Oh yeah. Ooh. Existential crisis over here. Yeah, welcome along, everybody. How are we?
We need to introduce every single listener one by one. I don't know how we do
Yeah.
that, preemptive, but... And then each of them have to say, hi, how are we? It goes on for a while. So should we just cut that bit out?
Should we not say find out how all of the listeners are? Is that what you're asking?
Not individually.
Yeah, I don't think it's very productive. We hope you're all okay as listeners.
It might make the show a bit longer. Which,
It could.
we should really think about that. We might have to cut other content if we're doing it.
Make our lives easier, though.
It's true. Just get a list of listeners and read it off, and then end. Then just end.
And this is from Jenny, and Jenny says, "Yeah, I'm all right."
Whoa.
Sam just made
we're
up
not
a
getting
name.
Messages. We're not just getting messages from them. We were just reading out their names and asking if they're okay.
Can you not see that I'm holding this piece of paper here with the messages on that have already come in from our listeners telling us exactly how they are?
We've not asked them how they are yet. We have to ask them first, and then they send the messages.
We've all asked how are we, so they've started sending.
No, but
in the
we're
messages
asking them
straight away.
individually.
Okay, well, this Benjamin, how are you?
Really, that's your second name. Which
What's
most
wrong
of that,
with Benjamin?
Well, the fact that I'm called Benson, it's
Oh, really?
really.
You
really.
can't pick a name that has any letters similar with our three names.
You can't have Steve. That's got 2 vowels in, you dickhead.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, if
Fucking
Sam
hell.
started reeling off, a list of listener names, people would absolutely know it's true because he would only get to 2 names if he were making it up.
No, because all the listeners will send the name in as one of Sam's 5 names.
Was it Barry, Steve, Jeff,
Timmy,
Little yeah,
Little Timmy, yeah.
Little Timmy,
Sandra.
Greg.
That one. I don't fuck-
Barry's
Sand-
the main one. Just drawn to
I'm just
Barry.
making them up now. You're drawn
Just
to
a-
Barry.
It's a
Like
good,
Barry
solid,
Scott.
strong name, isn't it? Isn't it? Of all the names, it's very strong.
You just love the
Barry's it,
Still It
yeah.
Bang, don't you, really? That was it. It was the Still It Bang adverts. They did it for
Just
you
a-
then.
Just any kind of Barry. It's just a strong, solid name. I think I'd trust anybody called Barry.
What about Barry the Burglar?
Barry the burglar. I'd trust him to rob a house really well.
Yeah, that's
I think
Oh,
he'd do
well,
a damn good job of it. I can't see him getting caught. I don't think he's going to leave any evidence behind. Good, solid robbery job, Barry.
What about-
well done.
Barry the Bastard.
Barry the Bastard. I think he's ironically named Barry the Bastard because he's such a sound guy.
Because he's like the nicest person ever.
Yeah. Oh, he's Barry the Bastard.
Barry
Hi
the
guys,
Bastard.
would you like a
Hi,
drink?
hi. So meek and just nice. What about Barry the Butcher?
Barry the Butcher cuts a mean steak, does sausages 4 for £1. Can't argue with him.
Barry
Good
the
man. He's a good
Barber.
man. Can we stop naming Barrys now? We could be here a long, long time. I would trust Barry the Barber. with
Barry
my
the
hair out.
Belligerent.
Barry the Belligerent, the 1600s leader of the Orc tribe,
Barry
was,
the Behemoth.
was a terrible leader because he was such a nice guy.
Barry
He
the
just
Bone
surrendered
Collector.
immediately. Anyway,
Keep going.
no,
Enjoy
stop it
myself.
now. Stop it.
What do you mean? Stop
It's
it.
it's very cold.
Why
This
it
is what
cold?
I'm noticing. We're nearly
Well,
as
like
we
right
record
now.
this,
Yeah,
we're
we're
nearly
not
in
talking
May.
about the
When
weather.
it goes
We're not
out.
talking about the weather again. We've
You're
talked
talking about the
weather.
weather.
All right.
Is that how interesting your week's been?
Well, this is the point. We all kind of work at home now for the majority of the time. We don't get out much, really.
I know it's lovely. I fucking love it.
The most exciting thing that's happened to me is a new takeaway has opened up nearby,
That's true.
selling things at the most ridiculously cheap prices I've ever seen.
It looks super
when I'm on a
cheap.
fucking diet.
You've got to try one. You just got to get it once.
We've got to know what. And in fact, I want a full food review from you.
Yeah, I need to
like
know.
what they do on social media.
Because have you got the menu there? Because you just fucking read out some of these prices. 'cause
Oh, I
this is
remember one
mad.
of them.
Well,
the
what- go
Monster
on.
Kebab. The
Monster
Monster
Kebab.
Kebab was £6.50, which anywhere else they're £15 minimum for the massive
Yeah,
kebab.
I would say so.
And chicken burger for 99p, which I said you can't trust.
Chicken burger for
Catch.
99p is insane. That's like a McDonald's fillet of fish, surely.
It's like
The-
a Rustler's. It's definitely a
The, cra-
Rustler's.
the craziest one for me was the family treat, which is any 3 12-inch pizzas, 3 fries, and a big bottle of Pepsi for $13.99.
That's
three.
insane.
3
12-inch
pizzas. You got
3
anywhere
fries,
else? It's 1 pizza for 15
And-
quid.
a bottle of Pepsi. Now, one of my hobbies, as you well know, is to go through takeaway menus looking for typos and mistakes because it's great source of
I
fun
did
for
not
me.
know that, but I can
Did you
really
not?
see you doing that.
Well, now you do. Now you do. Well, I had a little look through the menu the other day, and there was some belters in there. One of my favourite is under the dessert menu is the chocolate and peanut butter stack.
A peanut butter.
I love a bit of peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
That's just
mate,
not even close to being right. Peanut.
In this kind of ilk, have you seen what's been doing the rounds on the old Schmedia this week?
Oh, don't say about the letters and the keyboard.
No. So,
oh, good.
Some dude has I don't know their name. Some influencer has posted something, and they were talking about a well-known sort of tonic drink brand in the UK, Schweppes, right?
Oh
yeah. We've all seen it, and he calls it Schwapeepees. Schwapeepees. What the fuck is going on? What is happening? How can you not look at that?
I was going to get the audio
Schweppes?
for that. I was going to get the audio for that. But then every time I see something like this, I laugh and I show it to Lisa and go, hey, look at this dickhead. And then there's something always niggling in the back of my mind that's like, he's probably done that on purpose because he knows people will share it because it's so ridiculous.
And now we've
every
shared
single time.
Now we all call it Schwapeepees, though.
Schwapeepees.
You're
It's
never
like
gonna
that one where that woman called Greg's GR eggs. And I was like,
Eggs.
there's no way you're looking at Greg's and saying that's GR
the thing
eggs.
is, though, these people are American.
They are
That's true.
I said American, Sam. You fucking furthered that.
Oh, I mean these two specific people, not the
I've got
the United States. They're all very sensible people.
Very sensible, especially
I've got another gripe with social media, actually. Speaking
Go on then, gripe it out.
Media.
Tell us your gripes.
We're saying about videos and people who do things on purpose, like Schwapepe and GR eggs.
Schwapepe. Now,
You've done your own version now. Schwapepe. That's the posh version.
People do food reviews. People literally have a full-time job filming themselves eating takeaways for like £6.50 monster kebabs and then uploading it.
Like that dude with the teeth.
With the teat.
Teeth. The dude with the big fucking rabbit teeth who fucking basically eats with his mouth full and just goes,
Beaver.
That fucking ding.
Yeah, I didn't know he reviewed stuff. I thought he just kind of slurped up food, but anyway, so
that's his version of reviewing it. But anyway, yeah, continue.
Oh, how slurpable it is.
He just slurps it and goes, "Oh, good that."
Soup is top of the league.
I've been trying to get out of the food algorithm because it just makes me want bad foods, and I'm trying to eat healthy at the moment. When you remove that, the next thing that came up was that I found out that on social media there's people who film themselves purposely getting bitten or stung by creatures to rate the sting pain.
Oh yeah, I've seen these. Yeah.
And like one of the guys, I went into the rabbit hole. There's one guy who did it a few years ago. He got quite well known for it. He's got a TV program now in America. Like it's on. I think he's Australian.
It just sounds like Jackass.
It's called like Wilder Ranger something. I can't remember his name. So, but then other people have tried copying that. And there was this guy yesterday who's like, this stonefish is known as one of the most toxic fishes in the entire world.
Oh, stonefish are bastards.
Yeah. And he's like, but I've looked into it, and the main cause of death is cardiac arrest from the shock of the pain. But if I know I'm getting stung, I should be okay. I've got EpiPens on hand. Bear in mind, this is in America. They don't have a very good healthcare system in terms of access to it. We don't, but at least ours is free. And he's going on, and he's got like, I've got my camera crew. I've got people here in case anything bad happens. But apparently the toxin is relieved by heat, so I've got boiling water to pour on my hand if I need to. Anyway, so then it's like loads of tense, it goes on for like 2 more minutes. I'm gonna get bullshit. I'm annoyed that I watched it all, to be honest. Anyway, so it pricks him, and he's like, oh yeah, oh, that's a solid 8 out of 10 for instant pain. And then he starts rating it on burning sensation, how quick it travels through his body. But then he clearly isn't that fussed by it because he's like, oh, and the tide's coming in. So then I'm like, is it fake? And then I read in the comments and someone commented with the milks it just before it stung him, so it won't be too bad. And I was like, do you call is it milking a fish? And
You're getting the venom out, then yeah, technically you are.
In a snake,
milking
it's milking,
it.
right? But it
You
does seem
wouldn't download
weird.
a car. You wouldn't milk a fish.
But now I'm like stuck in the new algorithm of people not rating food, rating a destination, rating animal bites and stings. And if that is what the world of schmedia is coming to, then I hope TikTok does get sold. And maybe not sold. I hope it gets closed down.
So, have you ever got to the side of like TikTok or Instagram that's like rock gambling?
Rock gambling?
Rock gambling.
Like Red Rock?
No, so like it's all these
Flintstones Casino.
They're looking for jade, and they go in and they have like a wad of money, and it's always a similar kind of thing. They get the money and they go up to a table, and there's a table of rocks, and all these rocks are wrapped in plastic,
yeah.
so you can't see it. And they hit the rock with the money, like I want to buy this one, and the other guy like, no, you get this one for that money. But they never say anything. They're just hitting rocks with money, and then he takes it to a machine and he cuts it in half. And then he gets his little light and looks at it, and if it doesn't glow, it's not jade, and then he chucks it away. And it's rock gambling, basically. It's fucking mental. I don't know how you get there, but every so often, I just end up on this
jade
side of...
precious, then? Is that something?
Yeah, so they get these
sought after.
Yeah, so they're looking for specific types of jade, like black jade and stuff like that.
Who's she?
It's the Disney version. So... I don't know, they're just looking for... The only thing I can decipher is from the comments, because none of them are speaking English in these. None of the writing's English. It's just nuts. I don't know how you get there.
I've got into a part on Instagram where there's people opening oysters as well, and it's a similar thing. I didn't know
Shocking. Shocking hell.
Okay, but pearls come in different colours, so you get your normal pearl.
You get black
but you
ones
can get
and stuff, don't you?
black pearls like super rare. You've got gold pearls. You got all sorts. You got blue sapphire pearls. So anyway, they're there just sticking knives in these fucking shells and twisting them around.
Yeah, they like...
Why do you
put
keep
a
saying
thing in to
shocking?
hold them open.
Because that's what it's called.
What, sticking a knife into an oyster and opening it?
Yeah.
It's called shocking. Well, they should have just called it what I called it. Way more...
Well, they should have called it sticking a knife into an oyster and opening it rather than shucking.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
the literal translation.
Way less syllables. If the Americans had discovered it, that's what they'd have called it.
There is some odd areas on Instagram and TikTok, but
I want to go back to the food, really.
well, it becomes engrossing though, because you just sat there like, oh, what is it?
Once you're in the rabbit holes, like you just get hyper focused on it, and it's just crazy. So I watched it when it was horrible. It was this guy. I don't know where in the world he was from, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere close by or in China. I don't know how nice it's to say it than that.
It's one or the other. It's either in Castleford or China.
Well, it's somewhere from that part of the world.
Close
Close to us. It's either close to us.
Right.
It's Huddersfield or it's China.
You should have said it the other way around. It's either in China or close by.
Right, yeah.
What did I say?
It's either close by or in China.
Or China.
He's either in. I said he's either in or close by to China.
I don't
Yeah,
What do you mean?
I think it's that two of us didn't get it and only one of us did, as the person who said it. I think that's the majority rule.
Is that okay? It's a good job.
Is that how it works?
Well,
like a fucking democracy? No.
If only this was being recorded and we could listen back to it and find out for sure. But
listeners, get back in touch.
We'll have to wait till it comes out, yeah?
Get in
just
touch
tell
and let
us
us
we're
know
not
what
listening
Benson
to
said.
it.
And if you're right again, Benson, you can get fucked.
I'm definitely
You've
right.
Got to stop being right, you.
I'm always right. Anyway, and he's doing a mukbang, which I think is how it's pronounced.
A what now?
Mukbang.
A what now?
Mukbang.
A mukbang.
MUKBANG. It's where you just bang a load of food into a pot and eat it. But the thing is with him, he's doing a seafood mukbang, and it's all squirming about. So he's putting like an octopus in this big pan that's on a fire, and like shellfish and all that. Some of them are still moving. He's biting into it. The savage bastard. It just, after all that, that's all it was leading up to. But it's just disgusting.
Did he not cook it first? So he just starts eating it when it's still swimming.
He's putting them alive into this pan.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them it's like cooked and like ready to eat. Some of it's still moving about. Like he's putting a tentacle in his mouth and it's flapping
Oh,
about.
but that's just reflex, though, isn't it? From the salts and stuff. In
Oh,
there.
no, this was
Muscle.
definitely alive. It was alive. I asked it.
No, did you? Did you say, tentacle, you alive, mate? And then...
So yeah, the internet is just getting weirder and weirder, and it's unsafe for adults.
Somebody sent me a video the other day of a man dressed as a pig shoving his snout into a plate of beans. And I
that's
thought
a good video. That
was enough
video.
internet for me that day.
I saw a guy eating a breakfast the other day. A guy who was on the UK Apprentice, and he was eating his breakfast, and it was steak pie, which is bizarre for breakfast
is it
anyway.
that Tom?
It is that Tom Skinner, I think he's called.
Yeah, the proper
and he
Cockney
says,
lad.
"All right, Bush." He's a Bush.
Bash,
Yeah.
bash, steak pie for breakfast, bash.
Steak pie for breakfast, yeah. Proper hard nut.
I finish work at 2 p.m. I've gone for a pint. Steak pie for breakfast, bash.
Steak pie for breakfast, but also on the same plate, beans.
Okay,
Pie
I can
and
go with
beans.
pie and
Peas.
beans. Pie and beans are good. What was that?
Peas.
Peas.
Mushy
Mushy
peas
or
or
normal?
dry garden.
Just normal garden peas.
Right.
And
You know, pie and peas.
scrambled eggs.
Right.
And then gravy all over everything. Pie,
breakfast.
eggs, beans, peas, and gravy. for
I could
breakfast.
eat
The
that.
eggs is a bit too much, but everything else seems like it would go hand in hand for
Yeah,
a
I could-
meal,
I
an
could eat
evening
that.
meal.
Beans and gravy. Not having that. I
Yeah,
know
you can
that
have
get
beans
those
and
as
gravy. I've had beans
side
and
orders
gravy
from
many times.
KFC. Oh, I'm not having beans and gravy. No,
Oh, you are.
That's-
You are.
no. The combining of the sauces.
The combining of the sauces.
The sauces have combined.
It breaks the law of the sauce.
It does, yeah. You can't. I think a lot of people will be with me on
Which
Can't have
which
two
layer would it
sauces.
settle on? Would the beans settle below the
you li-
gravy?
I think sauces are alright, but this is nah. I can't.
The sauces are all right, but not these sauces. What are you
Gravy
saying?
and bean juice? No. Even
I
like
think it goes. I think
Put
it's all right,
gravy
though.
granules in your beans when you're making your beans.
no, thank you.
Taste that delicious
Ooh.
tomatoey gravy.
Yeah, like
will
beefy
not do that.
tomatoes.
Mmm.
Will not do that.
That sounds delicious.
That does sound.
Really,
I'm
it's
gonna
just like
try
a
that.
stew, because like in stews you have like tomato and you can put a bit of gravy and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll crumble an oxo cube into my tomato-based.
Oh, and
dishes
now you're
for
fucking
sure.
dissing the gravy and tomato.
But that's like a powdery thing in with a sauce. It's not. I wouldn't. Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, just gravy.
Yeah, what was that
Yeah.
noise?
You just got a
I'm
mental
coming round
block.
to the idea.
You've got a
but
mental
gravy
block.
and beans does not compute.
Have you ever had a steak
okay.
pie with beans? Have you ever had a steak pie?
I was just
going
going
to
to say that because the pie itself has gravy
has
in it.
gravy in it.
No, I've not had pie and beans.
What is wrong
No,
with you?
Not had pie and beans.
You know the one I don't agree. You know the Spud Man and all the Spud videos, and the guy who started a channel about the two other people that do Spud vans, which is insane. Again, Schmedia, fuck you.
Just pretend. Yeah, but it's like
coleslaw and beans. Like what the fuck's that about?
Yeah, it's not bad coleslaw and beans. I don't mind it. I wouldn't go and choose it myself. If I'm having
Coleslaw
beans,
and
maybe
is it the
cheese.
cold and hot
Oh no,
thing?
sorry, I've
It is the
mixed it
cold
up
and hot.
actually. It's tuna and beans. That's disgusting.
No, that's all right as well.
Yeah,
Tuna
no,
and
I'm not
beans.
about
Mhm.
tuna and beans.
I do prefer tuna on it. So
I'm
tuna
very
mayo.
particular of what my beans go with. I have to say,
What
Toast.
What do your beans go with, Sam?
they go on breakfasties. They go on toast.
Breakfasties.
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 Yeah.
Is that the plural?
Breakfasties.
Breakfasties.
Yeah.
You've got the sun coming. I've got to call this out for the listener. You've got the sun coming across your face, like perfectly in both eyes, Sam.
Yeah, you
It
do.
really is.
Your eyes are
I
so
can't
small.
get away from it as well. If only it was warm, but we're not going to talk about the weather. So fuck that.
It's very warm. What are you on about?
Yeah, you can have beans on your breakfast. You can have them on toast.
have a
I'll
mini
have
jacket
them with
potato.
I'll have them with chicken, like
Chicken?
breaded chicken.
Breaded
Oh,
chicken,
turkey-
turkey
dinosaurs and beans.
Obviously, turkey dinosaurs. Smiley faces,
Oh,
potato
yeah.
waffles.
That's making me hungry now.
And beans
I can
go
do
with a
that.
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I
think
think you're
you've
getting them
been-
confused with waffles.
Nah, I think you are. I think you're locked in a bean box. And what you need to do is you need to open the lid. You need to get outside of your bean box.
I'm happy in my bean box.
No,
Okay,
you need
bean
to get
station
out.
then.
Comfortable in
You
the
need to
bean
get
box.
out of the
Bean
bean. I
box.
know
There's
it's
rivers of
comfortable.
gravy
I know
outside
it's
of it, and I don't like
comfortable
it.
in the bean box, but outside the bean box is a world of wondrous beanness.
No. Well, how can it be in the bean box, but there'd be more beans outside of the bean box?
Because in the bean box is
You're
just
in
a
the
singular
it's
type of
protecting
bean.
you from the bean.
You're
Just one
protecting you
bean.
from the outside range of awesome beanness.
A singular bean.
Here's
Mr.
a
Bean wouldn't
question.
have
It's an
wanted this
important
for
question. Are you a classic Heinz baked beans, or are you an adventurer and go for Branston beans, which I think are better?
Yeah, Branston every day of the week.
They've
Twice
got
on
like a
Sunday.
meatier. They've got like a stronger taste, but not stronger.
Sam doesn't like
just-
meat with his beans.
yeah. I don't know what it is. They just taste nicer.
They are better,
They're
but
not
I
as
do go
acidic.
for the Heinz as just a classic. But I put butter and Liam Perrins in them. Anyway,
Oh yeah, bit of cheese.
them a
Bit
bit
of
of-
cheese.
Mm.
Got to get that stringy cheese bean action.
And then proper reduce them down, get rid of all that liquid, that horrible.
reduce them down. All right, Master Chef. Reducing baked beans down.
Gotta have a thick
Till
juice on 'em.
only the beans are left.
Bit of red
With
wine
no,
in it.
no sauce.
Then dry them out and throw them at
Yeah.
Sam.
in his bean box. Are
I
you?
will be
Hang
safe
on.
because
Are
I'm
you
in the bean
eating whilst recording?
I had a little chocolate button.
You cannot be. It's not ASMR session.
Sam's drinking a Monster.
That's
Drinking
law.
has always been allowed, but I've never ever. Well, I know we have actually eaten on this podcast because Sam used to make us eat Kit Kats and tuna what's it sandwiches.
Yeah, he did actually.
If someone's tuning in to this episode for the first time out of
You'll
context,
let us,
that
you'll make us eat tuna and what's it sandwiches, but you can't eat gravy and beans.
that is a
look
valid
at
point.
his
Is that
face.
you know what? Yeah.
No, you're completely missing the point of the thing. The fact was that the sandwiches were weird as fuck. I'll do another section if you want with gravy and
bean sandwich.
Look,
gravy
I've
and
already
bean
done my
section.
bean stuff on this fucking podcast with the beans and the chocolate mousse.
Yeah,
I did that.
I did it too.
I'm
did
gonna
you?
dry
Quite
up
nice,
beans
Yeah,
and throw
I
'em
nearly
at Sam.
threw up. It fucking wasn't. It was
lovely.
horrible.
They were
It was
lovely.
really bad.
No,
We've made them videos available, haven't we, to people? Oh no,
Not
I don't
that
think-
one. No.
people don't need that video in their life.
Yeah, I think they do. If people can go on Schmedia getting stung by wasps and fire ants and all that bollocks, then I think people can see me beans and mousse.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Oh, you're doing a
for
voiceover now.
A middle section. I'm not paying that twat anymore. He's fucking charging per word, isn't he? I'm
I
not
mean,
getting
if it's
involved with
based
him
on how
anymore.
you did that, I can see why he would charge for it.
Okay, how about ladies and gentlemen?
Oh no,
It's time
Badger
for the
gonna ring.
middle
Badger gonna
section
ring.
of the podcast.
Ring, 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 ring.
So, just to give a little bit of context to what's about to happen, back in the original version of Killer Rabbit Podcast, going all the way back to the original
original?
episode 1,
What?
not the first episode of this podcast,
no.
but the first episode of the old podcast. As an afterthought, I kind of brought a quiz to that where we did some alternative animal names, and there was basically some things I'd ripped off of the internet where people had given animals different names. I gave the alternate name. Adam and Benson had to guess what they were, which became the quiz on your face, which ran throughout the whole of the original Killer Rabbit podcast. Benson versus Sam, Sam versus Adam, Adam versus Benson, and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And there's such things on there as a danger noodle, which was a snake. There was a thunder goose, which was an ostrich. And the
Branchy
main one
Prancer.
was the beach chicken, which was an alternative name for the seagull. Anyway, we ended up covering a story about beach chickens, about seagulls, not long after that. And before long, it became the cornerstone of the podcast. Basically, everything that we did had beach chickens related
Or
to
semen.
it. Everything, or
Semen
semen,
and
yeah.
beach-
or
semen and beach
not
chickens
not
were,
together though. Never the two
Never
shall
together.
meet.
You never cross the
Never
streams.
Yeah, never cross those particular streams. That you're gonna have a bad time if you do that.
Real
like
bad
that guy
time,
from
real
Sunderland.
bad.
But we
Yeah,
won't
the
speak
bad
about
time.
him on the podcast. But anyway, people would get in touch with us, and any kind of listener correspondence was always to do with beach chickens. And we ended up covering multiple stories about the feral winged beach dwellers, including people that had been trapped inside their own homes as an army of them had taken over the house, and people getting attacked, people's bollocks being bitten off, which later turned out to be
False.
not true, falsified.
False news.
But yeah, it grew so much. We even had a section dedicated to beach chickens, did we not? We had beach chicken news.
Chicken news.
Oh
So
wow, I forgot about
common.
that.
So common were the beach chicken stories. And just this last week, I saw something that was so intrinsically KRP, so perfect to our brand, I just had to bring it back. So, it's with great pleasure I bring back to you Beach Chicken News.
Stealing your chips, cupping on your shirt, swooping down, causing lots of hurt. Here are the stories, the insight reviews. It's time for Beach Chicken News. 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 Squawk.
Beach
we
Chicken
are
News!
getting so good at making them songs, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah. Did you like the American accent I put on there when I definitely made that entirely on my own?
I thought Adam doing the muted trumpet was excellent in that song.
Took
Absolutely
6 weeks to
fantastic.
learn that.
I just did the seagull
So-
sounds at the start.
Beach Chicken News. Are you ready for some Beach Chicken News?
I'm ready.
Go on,
I'm
then.
so ready.
Okay. So this story is of Cooper from Chesterfield in Derbyshire. Now, before we get into this, we have on our very own podcast, sitting right there. I'm pointing to him now. You can't see it, but you can
Who are you
hear me
pointing
pointing.
to?
On our very podcast, we have a champion of the sound effect. We've got Mr. Benson, who can reproduce the sound of an arid landscape bird of prey stock sound effect on demand, which you're going to hear right now. There you go.
There
That
it
was
is.
his
There
sound
it
effect.
is.
But I'm interested, Benson, how did you get on at the European Arid Landscape Bird of Prey Stock Sound Effect Championship?
I was quite surprised about the number of contenders there. I did think there would be less. I thought it was more of a niche competition, but it turns out there's thousands of people that try to produce a similar sound. One person actually cheated and brought an arid landscape with a bird of prey.
Whoa!
They brought an arid
you
landscape
can't
with
just
them.
bring one with
Like,
you.
brought a full desert with
No.
A full arid
way.
landscape with them. Kind of wheeled it on like a backdrop from a 1950s film. And
Didn't
had
even
a bird
smuggle
of
it.
prey.
Didn't even try and smuggle it in.
No. So they got caught for cheating. I did really well though. I got to the
Where did
I
you
got
place?
I got to the final heat. I came second.
Ooh, not bad, not bad. Not quite as good as our Cooper though. So Cooper went to the famous. He went to the Belgian coastal town of Depan to compete in the European gull screeching competition.
Wow.
Which
This
is-
a European one. That is a pretty
This
big.
is a fucking thing. So, would you like to hear his gull impersonation?
Yeah, but I think I should go to this competition.
I do
no,
as
you
well.
need to go.
We're gonna have
you
to
need to
enter
go
you
to the
next
arid
time.
landscape bird of prey stock sound effect competition. We've covered
Unless
that.
you
can't
practice
go
your
to the
goal
gull
one,
screeching.
and if you practice your goal one, you might get better.
I think
I'll be
some of the
honest.
credits carry over to both.
You're not in the same league as Cooper, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Would you like to hear
really?
Cooper go?
We need
Yes,
to
please.
hear this, don't we? We do.
Possibly one of my favourite parts of this is the audience reaction. Like, go on, yeah, get in there. Like, it might as well be at the
Fully
football or
into
something. Go on, lad, get in there. Oh, that's a fucking right screech.
Get
isn't it?
stuck in there with that screech.
Here we go.
Ah,
Let's
that's all
hear-
right, Gull.
Let's hear his screech.
3, 2, 1.
He's a
You
champion
got it, hasn't he? He's
seagull
got-
impersonator.
He's got that
Oh, there's someone
little-
else
As an
talking.
intrigued
Ah!
crowd of Belgian seagull
Hey, someone
enthusiasts
else-
watch on from outside,
What is
the judges
happening?
give 9-year-old
Stop it,
Cooper
Sam.
nearly
There's someone
top
else
marks,
talking.
which saw him win the junior category in the European gull screeching competition.
Oh, so
There
I
he
that's,
didn't
was.
realise I can definitely do that.
that's a
you
junior
reckon you could-
category.
Well, maybe we should send Benson along. The question is, would
You can't hear
be
me
willing?
doing that, can you?
No.
No,
No, well, that's going to sound
Zoom's,
fun on the
Zoom's
edit.
cutting
feed.
it out. Zoom's cutting it out. Would you be willing to dress up like a seagull as Cooper did?
See, you can't do it visually as well. Surely that's cheating. Surely
No,
that's
it's part of-
pretending. That's part of it.
Part of the judge. part of the judging criteria. So
Dressing
let
up
me
as
tell
a
you.
seagull. What do you mean? This is not. So it's not just audio. You have to look like a seagull as well. Is this
You
just
got to smell like one. You actually physically have to
Is
steal
this
people's
just
chips.
try and blag these judges into thinking you're a seagull competition? Is
Yeah.
that what this is?
You have to be able to fly. So it's a pretty
Difficult
all-inclusive
for the
competition.
normal person.
So would you like to know how it all started? Would you like to know the origin story of Cooper?
Somebody fucked a
please.
seagull.
Well, he does actually call himself Seagull Boy, but he originally started doing seagull impressions after being nipped by one while he was eating a tuna sandwich.
Like Spider-Man.
That's what he says. So he wanted to become Seagull Boy, like Peter Parker, but after he got bit by the seagull. And he says, I like them because I think they're a really nice animal, and I like them because of their noise. It's like, you got attacked by one. Why the fuck do you like it?
That's
He goes on to say...
It's Stockholm Syndrome, isn't it?
Full-on simp for seagulls, isn't he? He's simping out for seagulls.
Maybe he got bitten
I
by
love
the
it.
seagull, and it passed on a brainworm to him. And
He
the
definitely
seagull
puts
has taken
chips
over.
down his pants
Seagull
at Scarborough.
brainworms.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
he
what he's
goes on
doing
to
in
say,
his back
some-
garden
some-
when parents aren't in.
Says, sometimes they can be a bit scary, and I'm still wary of eating at the beach, so that's why I eat in a small tent.
Does he
He
take
fucking
that?
takes a tent to the...
Does he take it
so he don't
everywhere
get
with
attacked
him?
by seagulls, but he loves seagulls.
He loves
I
seagulls,
don't-
but he was protected from them
Yeah. Why do you want to be in a tent at the beach?
to eat your
People bring
dinner.
tents to the beach
Why?
To eat their
to
dinner,
keep out of the sun.
obviously.
to stop this. It's an anti-seagull barrier.
It's the dinner tent.
Tents get warmer than the sun when
I
they're
know.
in the sun.
They're the
They
hottest
get warmer
thing
than
ever.
the sun when in the sun. Did you just say?
I did,
Yeah.
yeah, I did.
There's so much sun that's heating on them, it amplifies the sun.
So his mum said,
His mum said,
so many-
please entertain him because he's crazy. I don't want him to stab me in my sleep.
There's so
With his
many
beak.
great quotes in this story.
He's wearing
So his
some
mum-
seagull beak prosthetic and just
Yeah.
fucking stabbing
It,
people.
it looks like a Black Death doctor.
This is gonna go so wrong. This kid, don't entertain this child.
Is this kid in the UK?
Yeah, Chesterfield.
Oh, at least he won't get his hands on a gun then. Was pretty safe.
No, that is good, but he will cause some damage with a seagull beak prosthetic at some
course
point
he
in
is.
his life.
If you're at one with the seagull and your whole sort of raison d'etre is to fucking annoy people and attack them.
How
and
old's this
steal-
kid? Did
steal
you
their
say,
food.
Sam?
So he is 9, and
Okay,
his mum,
I want to put a bet on with you.
go on.
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
A 20-year bet. £100 that this kid ends up in some sort of weird seagull-based crime in the next 20
Or
years.
suicide. Seagull-based suicide.
It didn't have to be a suicide. I was just thinking he's going to do something with a seagull. And
I
get
think he'll
caught.
try jumping off a building dressed as a seagull.
Maybe. I was thinking he's just going to try and fuck them, but you might be right.
He
I
could
mean,
try doing both.
But I was thinking
The
he's
old
probably going to
fly
come
and
out
fuck.
in his like late 20s.
well, he's 9, right? So very soon, in about 3 years or so, he'll be going to high school, and everything on the internet is forever, isn't it? And people are going to find the video of him dressed as a seagull, going, "Ah, ah, ah."
Why
Yeah,
are
high
his
school
parents
is hard
so
enough.
much
You don't want to be the
shit.
seagull guy, do you?
You don't want to be,
you don't want to be the seagull
boy.
kid.
Oh, have you seen this guy? He's dressed as a seagull.
But these days, you got to remember that schools are different now to when we went. You know,
They
it's
have
2024.
they have like screens everywhere. You can just put it on a massive screen in the middle of school.
I mean, if you wanted to identify as a seagull, like, you won't be allowed to tell someone otherwise these days. So he's actually safe. He's a protected species now. Good for him.
It's the herring gull is the protected one, isn't it?
Herringle now.
We found all out about that. But anyway, his mum said initially it was annoying when he started doing this. I've just got visions of him just doing it constantly. All
I had
around
to
the
keep
house.
feeding
Like,
him
stop it!
chips. I had to keep pretending I was eating the chips so he would do the noise and come and take them off me.
Sometimes I go
She
into
said-
his room to tell him off. He'd be like, "No, there's a seagull outside. There's a seagull outside."
Covered in poo.
That's kind of how it went. She said initially it was annoying, but then she realized that he was really good at it. People would look around and start looking for the seagull.
Well, he
and then
used
it
to do it
says,
outside in public.
yeah, so the family heard about the competition from a random man who overheard Cooper doing impressions at a soft play centre and suggested Cooper
A random
should
man at a
compete.
soft play centre gave you
random
advice, and you have belief.
I just
A
imagine
random man has coaxed
Why
this
don't you
guy
take
over to
it-
Belgium.
Take your child to this town in Belgium. Yes, it'd be very good over there. Yes.
I just imagine him with a really long trench coat on, like a hat and a cigarette, and just going up and going, "You could be a contender, you know that, kid." And his
We'll
mum's
take
like,
it to the
"Contender for what?"
Europeans. We'll take it to the European
Take it to the
Championships.
European screeching. And it turns out that this guy was a former screeching competition champion
Who was
between the years
disgraced.
of 1967 and 1970. Yeah. And then there's some kind of Rocky montage where he's teaching him to get his screech just
I reckon
right.
you're good enough to go to the Worlds.
Gilligan Gull, the 1968 to 1972 UK champion of
And they'll
seagull
call it
screeching.
Freddie the Seagull.
Ah.
Like it.
He's got a whole film, but unfortunately, he's going to have some kind of sex massacre at the age of 20 with seagulls.
He is
I
definitely
really
in his
wanna know.
20s.
I
He's gonna
really
have
want to
chips
know
thrown
more
in.
about the random guy that hangs around soft play centres telling people that they should enter the screeching
I
competition.
don't
That's
think
it.
you need
You know,
to
if you
know
read
more
that
about
line
him,
in-
Sam. I don't think you need
If
to
you
know more
read-
about him.
If you read that
Said
line
it
in a
all there.
newspaper by itself, you would definitely not have guessed it's a man introducing a 9-year-old to a seagull screeching competition.
If somebody came up to you and went, I've got a really good idea, this random man at this soft play centre just told me. You'd be like, no, what are you doing? What's happening here? What's going on? Nah.
The mum's gone
Nah.
home to the father and said, "Oh, you never guess what happened at soft play.
This random guy at soft play.
He said he could compete. He said he's great. He says he's really good and he could go all the way
He says if I just drop him off at his house tonight.
and let him teach him the ways of the goal."
But it's very secretive, apparently. You got to keep it quiet.
Well, he scored 92 points out of a possible 100, which meant that he won the juvenile category and also had the highest point score in the competition.
Who are the judges
There are other
for
categories
this?
as well, though, Benson, if you want to go
Oh.
along and do it. Now, Cooper took his lucky
Are
mascot
you now
with
the
him.
random man in the soft play that's telling me to...
Maybe it was
Well,
Sam all
I
along.
could be now. Now I know all about the European screeching competition. If I hear a good person that's
You have
fit
to go and hang
compete.
out at soft play
Yeah.
areas there, Sam.
Exactly. Got to tell him about it. He took his lucky mascot with him, a small model seagull, which he calls Stephen, which he spells with a PH, but his parents call it Steven Seagal, like the actor Steven Seagal.
Oh.
It's really like spelling things out for you, this article. His parents and grandparents were there to support him, as was his sister Shelby, who had a big cone of chips made from foam.
Ah, I prefer the cone of chips made from chips.
Chips.
You can't take them to
I mean-
the Seagull Championship. You cause chaos. Chaos.
There's no actual seagulls at the
Absolute-
championship.
No, but they think they're seagulls. This is the
Everyone
problem.
just,
You
everyone
get
just
a-
descends
get a
on this
horde-
young girl.
You get a horde
with a
of humans making seagull screeches running at you.
True.
So, Jan Says, a marine biologist and one of
Sorry,
the judges.
hang on. Is this a person's surname? Is this a person's surname, or is it Jances?
Well, it is a surname, but Jan says that he managed to include several call types in his performance, and each of them resembled a real seagull call in a most impressive way.
Defo
Does
mating
he-
call.
Do they
It's
have like
defo the mating.
yeah, it's all the mating call, but they have every single like seagull type. Does he list the ones? There was like a herring gull and a magic gull and
Well, it's the different
big
sounds that they
chicken
make from ranging from alarm calls to long calls and the calls that let them unwanted intruders know that it's their territory. So there's a lot that goes into it. But each judge awards up to 20 possible points, with up to 5 points awarded for how the competitors were dressed. So that's why it was important he was dressed as a beach chicken. The remaining 15 points for awarded how well they mimic the call of the seagull. And of course, they're paying attention to the timbre, to the rhythm, as well as the variation, which we heard in spades in
I
Cooper's
feel
performance.
bad for the seagulls near this event who are just sat there going, "Oh my god, someone's in distress! No, someone's attacking us! No, what is happening?
It's a long
Oh, guys, there's some
It's an
chips!
alarm
There's some
call,
chips!
there's chips.
Oh, they're made of fucking foam!
The Belgium sorted out their seagull problem years and years ago.
By getting these
so that's
people
why-
dressed up.
Well, that's
to
why it's
chase
held
them.
there. That's why it's held in Belgium, because it's an actual seagull-free country.
The seagull free zone of Belgium.
And it's quite the opposite, actually, because the main part of the competition is to raise awareness for how cool seagulls actually are. But I'm afraid
How
you've got to disagree
cool
with
is
that?
that? Is it, I mean, you really marketed it there just to say how cool seagulls actually are.
They're so
Yeah, well,
cool.
not cool. So the motive behind the competition is to elicit some empathy for for the seagulls, which are often maligned as rats of the sea.
I mean, that's because they
Sea
steal the
rats.
chips, so.
Sea rats.
Sea rats is almost as good as beach chicken.
I mean, if the seagulls wanted a better reputation, stop stealing people's chips and
Stop
people won't
being
be so
dicks.
upset. Yeah.
The
Stop
fact that we
being
have to have
dicks.
signs to tell
Benson
people
broke.
to
Someone
stop
broke
feeding
Benson.
seagulls. You know, it's not the seagulls' fault. It's us as humans, as usual.
Yeah, it's
idiots.
definitely us. It's always our fault. Stupid us.
And there we go. That's the welcome return of beach chicken news. Well done to Cooper, bringing it home for the English gull impersonators. Benson, I'm sure you could definitely get on the older category there if you so choose. Why
I
don't
think
give
you
us,
should. I think you should do it, Benson.
another rendition of your seagull impression.
Can we do a GoFundMe? If people pay for me to get to Belgium, I'll enter the competition. How about that?
I mean, that would
Let's
be
do it.
my favourite KRP trip and video of all
Yeah.
time.
Oh, you
They'd
coming
have
as
to
well?
pay for all three of us
Of
to
course,
go.
yeah. We'd have to go and document the whole thing. We could
That's a
make
good point. You have to
documentary
have a camera crew.
and then stick it up and then sell it to Netflix. The guy who would be Gull, or something like that. I don't know. The Guller Benson bird. I don't know.
Copyright KRP 2024. Okay, well, shall we end on a final, a goodbye from the arid landscape, bird of prey sound effect?
No, I think you should move on and work on your Gull sound effect so we can
Yeah.
get you to the competition next year. What do you think, guys? Has he got what it takes?
That was what you think.
Are you that random guy from the soft play? Do you think you could coach Benson to become the #1 gull screecher in the world? If so, please get in touch.
He is open to a slight nonsense.
No,
Slight nonsense. Only a slight nonsense.
Only a
I
slight
don't want a full
one.
nonsense.
only the tip.
Just like a 1980s nonsense, just like making you run around in your pants. Not an actual nonsense.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Like a Macaulay Culkin situation.
Macaulay McCulkin.
Yeah, exactly,
Macaulay
like a
Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin situation. Not a real
Yeah, I
nonsense.
can
Just
do
just
that. Not
just
a
a borderline.
Shaftney.
Just a borderline nonsense. An old school 1980s nonsense.
The gentle nonsense,
We don't like that modern nonsense.
No.
Oh, they don't.
I don't
They
think we
didn't
like
nonce
any
like
of
that
it,
in our day. I'll tell you
Back
that.
in my day, you got a kid to run around in his pants, and now they just want their dick everywhere.
Moving on.
Just move
Benson's
on.
shaking his own head in
Play a-
disgust.
Benson's disgusted at exactly what you just said. The whole situation.
Oh, check his hard drive.
I have a story this week that is from Sam's favourite place.
The Bermuda Triangle.
No.
Jeffrey Epstein's
Canada.
private
Not
island.
Canada.
Brazil.
Not Brazil.
India.
These are not your favourite places.
Where's my favourite place?
It's
then?
from Australia.
Oh, Australia, mate.
Now he's like, oh yeah, of course, that's it. That's it.
I've overthinking things has been one of my things
Absolutely.
this week,
I
hasn't
think
it?
we commented on it straight away, didn't we?
Mm.
We did. First thing we said, really. Was
Let's go Australia.
Let's go to Australia, and we're going down to Australia, to a man called a Mr. Adam Farquharson.
Mr.
Adam Farquharson.
Adam Farquharson.
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 Mr. Farquharson and his friend Mark Peacock.
He's got a bit more of
I know
a
it already
normal
sounds like it already sounds like a fake story. I know, right? But Mr. Farquharson and Mr. Peacock, right? Mr. Peacock had grown a Royal Easter Show Blue Ribbon awarded pumpkin. This pumpkin,
Is that a bird?
no, it's a pumpkin.
It's a pumpkin. It's a vegetable.
Oh, right, okay.
Or is it a fruit?
How the fuck's he growing a pumpkin in Australia?
It's
got
grown a
seeds
pumpkin,
in it.
and it's won a Royal Easter Show Blue Ribbon Award for being.
Oh, right, I
Benson,
thought that was
you
the
know the-
type.
Blue Ribbon Award. You know all
It's
about
the
it.
Blue Ribbon Award.
What do you mean I know all about the fuck you
It's
on
a
about?
Royal Easter Show Blue Ribbon.
Royal
Come
Easter
on.
Show Blue Ribbon
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Don't be pretending you don't know about the Blue Ribbon Awarded pumpkins.
Do you know what the Blue Ribbon Award in pumpkins is, Sam?
Yeah, it's the award given to Blue Ribbon Awarded pumpkins.
Exactly. Egg fucking.
Okay, I don't feel as
exactly.
bad for not knowing now.
Well, this pumpkin was given this award because it was the largest pumpkin grown in Australia and came out at a whopping 407 kilograms. Okay.
Wait, is this the record? World record?
Mm-hmm. This is. It's not. Well, I don't know if Mr. Guinness isn't involved at this stage. It's just won this ribbon. Okay. Maybe Mr. Guinness is going to get involved because
That's my ribbon.
The story does not end
So
here.
you can't have the ribbons as well, Mr. Guinness.
You just get the record.
You've already got the records, for Christ's sake.
But this is not where this story ends because it was Mr. Peacock that grew the pumpkin, but his friend, Mr. Farquharson, had a better idea of what to do with said pumpkin now it had won his award. I mean, most people, I would think you eat the pumpkin, right? You know all the stuff that gets awards at these veg shows and stuff.
We've said this, like marrow. Nobody actually eats marrow. People just grow marrow.
Can you give us something to go on other than the weight? How big? Just so I can kind of imagine and picture the pumpkin.
Imagine a big pumpkin.
Sam,
Right.
I'm
It's like
getting
that.
to it. The rest of the story will explain how big said pumpkin
I'll hold
is.
off.
Okay?
I'll hold off.
But
I'm excited
it's
to know.
big.
Just
It's
know
big.
that. Just know that.
Imagine
know how
what
excited I am
you know
to
when
know.
you were a child and people were telling you the giant turnip story. Was that a thing? One?
Yes.
Imagine
And the giant peach.
Imagine
I was
what
a
you
big-
thought
big
of the
fan
giant
that.
turnip. That's about how big it is.
Right. Okay.
Hang on,
Not as
what-
big as the giant peach.
What
though,
do you
'cause that was
mean
just
when
silly.
people said about the giant turnip story?
The giant turnip.
What are you on about?
It's a
The
classic
green ribbon
kid's
awarded
story.
turnip.
Let's continue with the fucking story. Right.
The turnip won the
Gives
red
him the
ribbon
giant-
and the green ribbon and the blue ribbon. No, anyway, so it's a big pumpkin, big fucking pumpkin, and this dude grew it, and then his mate, Mr. Farquharson, was like, I know what we can do with that pumpkin.
Oh, mate. I know
Oh,
what we can
mate.
do with that
Oh,
that
mate.
pampo.
Oh,
They call them
mate.
pampos. I hope
Do they call them pumpos?
pampos?
Jackhouse.
Yeah.
Jackhouse.
Kinnies.
Well, what do you think they did? What I mean, if you had this a giant, massive pumpkin, what would you do with it? Because
I'd
apparently,
make a giant
How
massive
big is it? We need to know.
jack-o'-lantern.
We need to know
I
how
can't
big
really
it
tell
is.
you. Well, all right, okay.
Is it swimming?
Can't-
Is it a boat?
Is it swimming, were you
Is
going
it
to say?
swimming? Is it
Is
a
it
boat?
swimming?
Did you just
Did
say?
they carve it out and then sit in it and put it on
Swimming?
water?
Yes, they
swimming?
did, Benson.
Did
Yes, they did. They have canoed it down a river, and it's fucking. This dude just sat in it. They've hollowed it
mate.
out, and he has just sat in this fucking canoe, fully like it's up to about here in this fucking pumpkin canoe, up to like his nipples, with a fucking paddle, and just gone down river.
I'll tell you what, mate. We need to canoe that pampo. We need to.
We need to can that pompo.
I'm gonna chuck it in. I'm gonna chuck
Well,
a picture.
That now
in
gives us an
the,
idea of
um,
how big it is.
I'm gonna put a picture
I'm
of
gonna
it.
I'm gonna Google it
I'm
myself.
putting a picture in the WhatsApp.
And
Yeah,
maybe
there you
we'll
go.
put
I've
a
just
link.
put it in the
maybe we'll
WhatsApp.
put a link in the episode notes as well, so you can take a quick break from the podcast to see this pumpkin.
Have a
'Cause
look.
I'm excited to see it.
The
And
canoekin.
maybe we can see it at the time. Fuck me! That's a massive pumpkin.
Do you reckon they knew it was going to be that big when they first started growing it? Or?
No, well, apparently this dude was growing monster pumpkins, right? So that was his whole thing. He wanted to grow these monster pumpkins, and that's the one he grew. This massive fuck off pumpkin, and they decided, fuck it, let's carve it out.
That's far
go
bigger than I
down
was
the river.
expecting. I was prepared to be disappointed by this, but that's
what she
far
said.
bigger than I
It's
thought.
fucking massive, isn't it? you could live in that.
You know, in Australia,
could
though, I
happily.
wouldn't want to put an edible thing in the water and then canoe it because something's going to eat its way through that.
Crocodiles don't eat pumpkins.
What about snakes? Snakes eat pumpkins.
I don't think a
Water
snake would be
snakes.
able to eat that pumpkin.
What about a spider?
Yeah.
I don't know. Out of all the animal kingdom, I struggle to think of anything there. What
Yeah, I
about
don't know.
buffalo?
A buffalo. Buffaloes in Australia.
Well, you could put one in there.
They're very
You could
strict
put one
about
in the
what you can
pumpkin?
take into Australia.
Yeah, but in
I
like a
think you
zoo.
could put one in the pumpkin.
Oh god, they are strict. I couldn't even take a pack of hobnobs in.
You can't take hobnobs into Australia, Sam.
What is it with
the
you and
hobnobs?
hobnobs?
What is
That's-
it with you and
It's,
hobnobs?
it's number one on the banned list in Australia. Oh, you can't bring hobos in, mate.
What? In case any other hobos grow around.
just any hobos or just chocolate hobos is like a specific hobo.
Any fucking hobos,
no
mate.
hobos at all. Do they have hobo beetles? Is
With
that
you
it?
fucking British oats. Get rid.
Oh, it's the
Can't be
oats.
having
They can't
British-
have our oats over there. Coming over
Can't
here,
have that.
sowing our
They have
soil.
fucking British oats ruining our fucking Australian oats.
I can't believe how big that pumpo is.
I know,
I'm
you
calling them
fucking
pumpos
pumpo.
now, like that's
I
a
thought you
normal
needed
thing.
I
like
need a
loads of
pump
water.
out.
I thought you needed loads of water for a pumpo to grow.
Yeah, they don't have water in Australia.
See, I was looking
Well,
for
they don't.
the
It's
actual.
it's
they
an
don't have
arid
water at all.
landscape.
But they still have water. They can water them themselves. Just because it's
yeah.
hot doesn't mean that
There's
they
no
don't have
water
water.
in Australia. It all seeps off into the sea.
It's too hot, mate. It's too hot
That's
for
a
water.
good point. You know, I was picturing. I
We
don't
just
know
have
why.
beer. Just have beer.
I just imagine them growing
Make
in
beer
like the
out.
desert part.
They don't make beer out of water either.
No, absolutely not. It's
Can't
just
do that.
pure amber nectar.
It's just the barley and the wheat by itself.
Smushed up.
You just chew on it.
Chewing it, yeah, chewing beer, like chewing
Chewing
tobacco.
fermented barley.
That's not a beer. This is a beer.
No, you better spit it out after.
Oh, chewy fermented barley and hops.
Should we try and grow a pumpo then?
A pumpo?
I've got an idea.
A fucking
I could grow the
pumpo?
pumpo. I could put a hole in the bottom of it, and I'll see if it sinks.
You have to get in
Combined
it,
two
though.
of the missions of this podcast.
Yeah.
In fact,
Can
we
you
could
grow a massive
sail to
pumpkin?
Belgium, and I could enter in the competition as well. There
Oh,
we
do
go.
all three.
Well,
the trifecta,
so
baby.
I was looking in the article to try and find out an actual like measurement for size, and in classic, what seems to be just common journalistic fashion now, the only measurement for size was it's bigger than Taylor Swift. Now, I don't know how big Taylor Swift is. I've never met
She's
a Taylor
she's
Swift.
a little bit smaller than a big pumpkin.
Yeah, no, this
Yeah, it's
is
a good
it.
point. Sam makes a valid point. How many peanuts is it?
How many
Yeah,
Taylor
that's very
Swifts?
true.
How many Taylor Swifts in a pumpkin?
I measure everything in peanuts and Swifts. That's the only-
Swift
Not the
nuts.
Swift
unit.
bird though, the Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's just shortened to Swift, isn't it?
It's
Is
just
it?
madness. Can't understand why people use these measurements. I saw an article earlier that said a woman ran off from a park with armfuls of geese. Right, armfuls of geese. Do you know how many
That's
geese
two
that
geese
was?
there.
That was two geese. That was one
Yeah, I'm
under
getting good at
each
guessing.
arm.
Armfuls.
Armfuls.
I mean,
of, just
it is.
say fucking two geese.
Two geese, yeah.
Armfuls of geese. This is it. What the fuck is wrong with journalists and just saying what it is?
It's word count. Right?
Yeah.
They have to pump all that word count.
They're just got to get some
They try-
key words in. Get Taylor Swift in the article. How? Oh, the pumpkin was bigger than her.
Let's wrap this shit up then. This has been Killer Rabbit Podcast. Thanks ever so much for listening. Really appreciate your ears and you being here with us. If you'd like to get in touch with us here at the Killer Rabbit Podcast, find us online on the socials at Killer Rabbit Pod or email us at killerrabbitpodcast@gmail.com. Come and say hello, send us stories, send us suggestions for content, give us some ideas for something to do, whatever you like, really. Whatever you like. But if you don't want to do that, spread the word, tell your friends. If you think there's somebody that might enjoy unique wafflery, then please tell them about it. That's the only way we'll get our name out there, is if you tell people.
Waffle
We get
does
choked
go with
online. It does. It goes with beans, bangers, burgers, bitches,
I was
going
going to say bitches as well. Why does that?
They do, though. They do. That's what you want with your waffles, isn't it?
Waffles
You
and
want bitches on your
bitches.
waffles.
That is the bet. That is the move. That's the move.
Absolutely.
Fuck
No
this.
gravy
Let's
and
end
beans,
this
though.
and go get some waffles and bitches.
Yes.
Please. Let's do exactly that. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Sam.
I've been Benson.
And I've been Adam.
Bye for now, everybody. Bye.